Hey y'all, welcome back to another podcast episode for Heather's Country Crochet and More YouTube channel. If you are new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Glad that you all decided to pop in and sit and listen to me chat for a while. I have a few things to talk about today. I have been really kind of jumping all over the place. I'm not even gonna lie. I've had some main focuses for the month of July, so this episode is just mostly going to like recap what I've been doing through July, because I don't think I've even recorded a podcast in July. I don't remember exactly when it was the last episode that I recorded. Anyway, I've got some FOs, some whips, some new projects that I've started, some acquisitions, and a few things to talk about news-wise. So get you something to drink. I've got my coffee this morning and I am on my second cup. Get you a project or whatever and just sit down and relax, and let's talk about some crafting. For anybody who is new, just to give you a little recap of what my channel is about, I talk about knitting, crochet, Tunisian crochet. Occasionally there's some diamond painting. I used to cross stitch, but I haven't done it in a long time, but I am trying to get some of my whips in order so that I can bring my cross stitch back and actually have time to do some of it. I have been dabbling with some sewing. I'm not a sewer, but I'm trying to learn. So yeah, just a little bit of everything, I guess you could say. I do, all kind of crafting, so I just love to craft. So first, let's talk about my finished objects. The first thing is what I am wearing. This is my mini mock neck tank, and y'all, I had so much fun knitting this. So I started it and I completed it in 7 days. I did not want to put it down once I started it. It was a brand new construction for me, because on previous like garment knits that I have done, it's always just been in the round, in the round, in the round. Well, when you start this, you start it knitting it flat, and then you join at the seams, and you knit the back first, and then you knit the front, and you pick up your neckline. Well, you can do that after you've knit all this, but you knit all of that, and then you join here under the underarms to start knitting in the round for the body. Let me stand up so y'all can see. And let's see, I may have to take it down a little. Well, that's not working either, but here's the bottom hem. So it did take me 2 skeins of yarn to knit the body part. So you can see here this break. This is where I joined the new color. So this just shows you how different, let me fix my camera back, how different 2 skeins of hand-dyed yarn can be. And this was store-bought hand-dyed yarn. I bought this yarn at Hobby Lobby. So it doesn't matter if it is store-bought or if it is, shop bought or whatever. hand-dyed yarn is hand-dyed yarn, apparently. So I did not helically knit this because I do not know how to helically knit, and I especially didn't really know how to do it with this kind of construction of this shirt here, but I do love it. The brown is actually a brown that I had dyed myself for a project that I never started. I was going to do the Stephen West shawl along thing that he does, mystery shawl along or whatever that he did last year, and then with me being such a new knitter and him having so many like complicated stitches, I guess you could say. I don't really want to say complicated, but I mean they're more advanced, and so I decided not to do that that knit along. So I still had the yarn, and I just thought that it would go really, really nice with this, because I did use the 2 full skeins of the Hobby Lobby yarn for the body. So I think I had less, like I think I might have had like a gram left of this or something. It was a very teeny tiny ball. I think I've already put it in with my other scraps, but yeah. So the neckline and the bottom ribbon called for like 1.5 inches, and I don't really like usually a lot of close. I didn't want it to go any higher, so this right here is actually pushing it a little for me, because I don't like, I feel like I'm being choked, but I can pull on it a little bit and it comes down a little. However, yeah, I do wish this was a little wider here to cover my bra straps a little better, but it's okay. Just a nice little summer knit. It did call for a tubular bind off, and I have never done that before, so I did have to watch a tutorial to learn how to do it. And I will say I like the tubular bind off. It is a lot stretchier. However, it takes forever to do. Oh my gosh, I felt like I would never get done with that bind off. And it has its like made built-in ribbon here on the sides and in the underarm area here. It is a bit loose fitting in the underarm area, but I mean, it's okay. My first little tank top, I was excited that I got it done, and I got it done in like 7 days, y'all. I mean, literally 7 days, and I was completed with this project. So I had a lot of fun. I don't care that it's 2-toned or well, 3-toned basically. I like it. So it's my first tank top. It was my first time doing this construction, and I like it. I'm proud of it. I'm happy with it. I'm gonna wear it. Okay. Another some sort of finished object is I did a test knit for Elendria Knits on her Melting Summer Treat sock pattern, and I just I knit this with just some random minis that I had in my stash. Let me put it on a sock blocker. I have not blocked it yet, and I've also not wove in my ends yet. But it was, this too was a new type of knitting for me, because as you can see here in these, the way that these stripes go, that's done in a color work sequence, and I had never really done color work to this. You know, I've tried it a little bit before. This sweater right here that's sitting on the shelf on hold for a long time now, it's color work, but it is, in these socks there were a lot of longer floats, and this color work sweater over here is like 1 or 2 stitches each. So this was a brand new learning aspect for me. This pattern has been released. It is out on her shop, or Ravelry, whatever, for purchase. And it was really fun to learn how to do this, because like I said, I have not ever done this before. I do still have to finish the second sock. I'm about halfway through it. I think I'm right here on the second sock, so I don't have much left. So but yeah, so I did that. And oh, and by the way, if you are interested, this the mini mock neck tank pattern is by Jessie May Designs, and I will link all of these below in the description box. Also, everywhere you can find me on social media is also in my description box. If you follow me on Instagram, I post over there when I'm doing these projects and stuff, occasionally. Well, not really occasionally. I've started doing it more than I used to. So, if you want to kind of try to keep up with what's going on with me throughout between the podcasts, you can, over there is the best place to see what I'm doing. I've also been doing a secret test knit for Alendria Knits, and so I cannot show it, but I can talk about it just a little bit. I can't really go into detail about it. It is a sock pattern that will be released on August 10th on her Ravelry, and it is the last pattern in her summer stripe sock set type thing that she's doing on her Ravelry, in her patterns or whatever. It was really fun. I have to say, I have tested a handful of a few patterns for her now, and this was my absolute 100% favorite pattern that I've tested for her so far. I really enjoyed it. I knitted them so fast because I just couldn't stop. I loved it. So stay tuned. If you do not follow her over on Instagram. And like I said, her name is Alendria Knits. I'll have her link below. She also has a YouTube channel. She does wonderful tutorials. And yeah, so make sure, if you are interested in looking out for that pattern to come out, it will be released August 10th. Whew. That winded me a little bit. Hold on a second. Okay. Now, so that takes care of my FOs. I have some whips that I have like really been focusing on during July, and I have some new projects and also a design of my own that I want to talk about, and I want to get your opinion on. So yeah. First is let's talk about my socks first. Okay, so y'all, I have had a time. Okay, let me just say this first, okay? I was knitting the Felici Socks in the colorway White Russian, and I had 2 skeins because they're 50-gram skeins a piece. Well, it took me a little over, it took me about, I think, like, I don't know, roughly about 30 grams to knit one sock, because it's a shorty sock. I'll put this on a sock blocker. And I don't believe I was finished with this one last podcast, but I do think I showed it. All right. So here is the first sock finished. I have not woven my end yet though, but here is the first sock. See how pretty those stripes are, how solidly colored those stripes are. All right, I've started the second sock, and with the second skein of yarn, the very first, when I first started the second sock, I was knitting away right with the cuff, and then I got to a point where there was a knot in the yarn, where it had been, like, I guess maybe cut or something and then tied back together. And so I just kept knitting. I should not have done that, because when I got to the next row after the knot, and I knit that stitch where that knot was at, that knot came loose. So, yeah. Therefore, I have this. So, rather than trying to put it back together and fix it and all of that, I just pulled the yarn out until I got to the next starting of the next blue stripe. Well, now, look at this. And then look at this. Do you see that difference? What happened here? I mean, hello. That looks like two different things. So, I don't know if this was like a defective skein of yarn or what. But see, like, you can even see it on the outside of the skein of how it is missed. So, you know, Knitpick should have caught this. And they should have not sold this yarn. Because now I'm gonna have two socks that match but don't. Because this one, I mean, basically looks marled, whereas this one is solid. So should I keep knitting it, or should I just do away with it? What do y'all think? I don't know. But that's why I have stopped here and I have not went any further with it, because I just, you know, I thought maybe it was just a little bit, but it seems to be throughout the entire skein of yarn. So I don't know what I should do, because I've already knit this whole sock and I don't have enough left out of this skein to knit a whole nother sock. So I don't know. What do y'all think I should do? I mean, I did get that yarn on sale, so I guess that's my fault, because, you know, I think that they're trying to actually even do away with the Felici yarn. I don't know really what's going on there. I've heard things here and there on YouTube about it. I don't know. But that was really disappointing to me, though, the way that done, because I really, really like the colors in this sock, or in this yarn, and I really wanted this pair of socks. Yeah. So Anyway, just for some details, I do knit all of my socks on 9-inch circulars. I did a 1x1 rib. This is kind of my own little recipe, I guess you could say. I did a 1x1 rib. I did 10 rows of stockinette here, and then I did it is a heel flap and gusset. However, it's like a modified. I just hit myself with that. Oh, it's like a modified heel flap and gusset that I kind of borrowed from a pattern that I really like from Annie's Love to Knit Socks Club. And then I did just, oh my gosh, I about hit myself with it again. And then I use Crazy Sock Lady's idea about the light bulb stitch markers to keep count of my rows. So I did stockinette all the way to the toe, and then I just did a standard round toe. So y'all, look, that is so pretty. I wish the other sock would be right, because oh, that is so pretty to me. I love those stripes and those colors, and it's so fun looking. But anyway, oh well. Y'all, please give me some advice here. What do y'all think I should do? Should I just knit the other sock and just wear them anyway, and then and just look like mismatch socks maybe? I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments, please. So that is my dilemma there. That is my Felici Socks. Now, as for Cody, my husband's socks, they are turning out way better. I have finished one sock. I am on the second one. Get the sock blocker to show y'all, and I've even weaved in the ends on this one. So on this one I'm doing good. Okay, so here is Cody's sock. His foot is too big even for my large sock blocker, y'all. His foot is so huge. Okay, so I knit it on a 2.25 millimeter 9-inch circular, and I kind of did my own recipe for these too, y'all. I kind of followed the same, a little bit the same recipe that I did for my dad's socks, because my dad has wide feet and Cody has wide feet and long feet. So so I did a 1x1 rib. I did looks like 5 rounds of stockinette, a slip stitch heel flap and gusset. However, I cast on 80 stitches, but when I got to my heel flap, I only did my heel flap across 36 stitches, and I left the others for the gusset up front for the top of the foot, because the top of the foot needs more room. So, and then I did stockinette all the way for the foot, and then I did the round toe. However, I did kind of follow the like the 72 stitch count kind of pattern for the toe. I did the decreases. I decreased all the way down until there were 18 stitches per needle, and then after that I did my decreases down to 8 stitches, and then I kitchen nerd. I cannot talk today. What is going on? I kitchenered the toe. So when I do my heel flap and my toes, I do those magic loop style or whatever, instead of trying to do it on my 9-inch circulars, because I'm not fighting with that little big needle like that, but I love to use them to knit in the round part. So yeah, so that is his finished sock. And then I actually just finished this sock this morning, and then cast on the second sock this morning. And he's actually out of town right now. Actually, in a little while, he should be on his way home. He's been out of town for a week. So, but yes, I do have the cuff started for the second sock. So, his sock took so long to finish, because I know I've probably done and showed this on here at least twice. So, yeah, it took forever with his big old foot. I have hair in my project bag. Wonder how that happened. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead right here now and talk about the design that I'm doing, because it is actually a sock design, but it has a couple of different options. So let me see. I have one finished of one part of the design, and one that I have started on the foot for. So let me get, oh no, sorry. Okay, so this is the first one. And so I know this probably looks similar to other patterns. It's a little different. I've thrown in some, it's took me a while to try to complete this, because like I said, I'm going off of my own thoughts of doing this pattern. So I still have not written the pattern for this yet, though. That is the part where I am struggling. So if there are any pattern writers out here who have any advice for me, please, it is most definitely welcome, because I know what I did, but I don't really know that great of how to put it into words. If that makes any sense whatsoever. So, and this is the second version of it, where this was just a sock set with a main color and a mini. And this one is one of Moonglow Yarn Co.'s sock sets. It was her Paradise sock set, I think. The vintage Paradise sock set, maybe. Let me see if I have the tag. I do. Okay, yes, it was the vintage Valentine sock set is what it was. And this was, I just put the tag for this in here somewhere. Where'd it go? Oh, right here. This came from Ramblin' Needles, and it was the tree lighting ceremony sock set. This was actually supposed to be the yarn for my Christmas cast on, and I did one sock and then I did not finish the other, so I used the rest to try and do, but I still have a lot left. I have enough to do the second sock. So yeah. So what I'm thinking about for this sock is, because I'm struggling to try to figure out how to work these straps in on the foot, because I know that it'll be too many rows for even my foot. So I'm thinking that for the double here, the double stripe here, just doing just a plain stockinette foot. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with that one yet. But anyway, that is a design that I am trying to work on. And who knows when it will actually come out and be available, because like I said, I'm struggling with it. I do not know exactly where I want to go with it. So, oh well. I will get to it somehow, some way, eventually. Yeah. Okay, so that is all for the socks. Okay, so y'all know that I had cast on Brianna from the Little Wolf Knits, her pattern for the Twisted Tea shorts. Well, I did something. I decided after, because I had put this on pause, and I decided to, I wasn't really feeling the yarn that I had cast this pair of shorts on with, because it was really slippery. It was like silky. So, and I really liked this yarn, and I still had 2 skeins of it left, because I had 4 skeins of this total. So, and I had already done the waistband in the same color brown. So I was like, you know what? I'll just rip back and use this color yarn with to do the shorts, and it can be kind of like a matching set. So instead of actually ripping back, what I did is I went back and I picked up all of these stitches where I had joined this, because this is a folded cuff or band, whatever. I did finally put the, oh my goodness, I did finally put the I-cord in there. I did it out of the same brown yarn. But I picked up those stitches, and then I ripped all of that other color back. It's actually back on the shelf right there. And then I have knit this much out of this color yarn. And this was actually called, it was Yarn Bee Authentic Hand-Dyed Yarn or whatever. And then the colorway was Elysian Dusk. And I just love it. It's so pretty to me. It has all of these different little speckles in it. I can show you how pretty it looks up closer now, because of it being a project that I'm using it in like this. So it's just so pretty. It's so fun to work with, and I'm liking it a lot better for these shorts with this brown yarn than I was that little silky light yarn. So so hopefully before summer is over, I will have a pair of shorts to wear with my tank top. We shall see. I have not made a pair of shorts. That's my first pair of shorts that I have tried to make. So we shall see. Okay, now that goes for all of my older whips. Now well, no, I lied. I have my Cozy Comfort Throw, and y'all, my precious, adorable, loving little cats, they love this blanket. And I had finished a one of the mini stripes one night, And I folded it up and I put it over on a shelf in my living room. And I have been keeping my natural color in this yarn cozy, because to try to keep, you know, the yarns from getting too tangled. The next morning, I got up, and this yarn had been strode from my living room to my kitchen. Yeah, my yarn cozy was just like this, and it was still with my blanket that was now not on my shelf but in my living room floor. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just knew that I would never get that yarn untangled again. So I cut it, and y'all, by some miracle of God, I was able to get that yarn untangled very easily. It took me like about 10 minutes maybe, and rewound. And there, because there was only like 20 grams left in the skein, and it, you know, my undyed yarn is 100 gram skeins. So like I said, by the grace of God, I was able to get that yarn untangled. I don't know if maybe, you know, she had just done it when I got up, and so she didn't really have a lot of time to play with it enough for it to get really bad tangled, or what. But I'm just really glad, because I did not want to have to throw all of that yarn away, because I do not have the patience for unwinding yarn that is really bad tangled. I will throw it away. I do not want to untangle yarn. I don't like untangling yarn. I ain't got time for it. But anyway, so that's that story about this. I've had a lot of stories this time, y'all, because I don't know what's been going on with my crafting this month, but I've just been having some issues or something. I don't know. However, I have gotten quite a bit of progress done on this, and y'all, I'm not going to be able to hold this up all the way because it is huge. It's getting really big. But I'm going to try to show y'all. Okay, so this is where I was the last time I showed the blanket. And so I've done, I think, 6 colors, but it's a fade. This set of minis that I'm using now is a fade. So some of it, you can tell just a little bit of difference between the two colors. A very little bit of difference between these two. And then this is the one I just finished. And then this was one that I had dyed myself. This is a red, white, and black mini. They're in my shop if you're interested. I have a couple left of those. I'm going to go ahead and move this progress keeper up so I do not forget to do it. And it is stretching out my stitches, so I got to figure out a different way to put it on there. But while I've got it off, I'll show it. It is my, if it will focus, come on, focus. Please focus. Well, it says coffee, and then it has a coffee cup. Alright, so let me stick this back on here. My nails are not wanting to work with me today. Okay, now, so that's back on there, and this is the next color. I have not tied it in yet, and I haven't even tied my natural back into my blanket yet either, because, brutal honesty here, I just done this yesterday, and it's been sitting on my shelf for about a week or two, because I did not want to. I just knew that it was going to be so bad. But it worked out. So, and for anybody who does not know, this pattern is the Cozy Comfort Throw by Molly of A Homespun House, and I pretty much followed her pattern. I made a couple of modifications as far as the amount of stitches that I originally cast on. This blanket was the pattern is either for like an advent or you know, just random scrap minis that you have or whatever. I'm using 2 different advents that I had, and then I'm also going to be adding, I'm going to be adding in an advent that I'm going to be getting in October, or actually I'll be getting it I think in September, but it's for October. I'm going to be adding those to this blanket, and then once I've added those, then my blanket will be finished. So my plans for that was to do a stripe a day, which would be a mini a day. That did not happen. This is a little itchy. I don't know if y'all have noticed or not, but I keep scratching. It's itching my neck, like, I think probably because of the neckline. I don't know. Huh. Anyway. So, yeah, but anyway, that did not happen. It didn't happen before my cats got a hold of my yarn. But after my cats got a hold of my yarn, it really wasn't happening. Nope. So now, my goal is just to get these minis put into this blanket before October 1st. And I'll go into more detail about that when I get to the news section, because I have kind of like an announcement. So, okay, now we can move on to my new stuff. I only actually have 2 new projects to show. But I have cast on a new muscle burrow hat. And this is not a progress keeper on here to show progress. This is to keep up with where my decreases for this left off. However, this was a new cast on. I have not shown this on the podcast yet. And that is how much I've done so far on it. This is kind of going to be like an on-the-go, sitting and waiting somewhere type knitting for me, because I am past the decreases onto just stockinette. So, yeah. This one is going to be mine. And I mean that. I love this color. This was a yarnable colorway. Oh my goodness, it was the unicorn one. I can't remember the name. And oh, I think I have the tag over here. Yes, I do. Oh, I'm doing so good today. Okay, so this was Unicorn Dreamscape. Yes, I'm doing really good with my tags, y'all. I can't believe it. I need to put that in this bag so I don't lose it. So I decided, okay, so when I made my other muscle burrow hat that was originally supposed to be for me, it wound up being a little tight on me, but it fit my husband, because I have a bigger head than my husband. I guess it's because I have more brains, I know. But anyway, so I decided to go up a needle size and try a 2.75 millimeter needle instead of a 2.25 millimeter needle. So I know that a 2.25 millimeter needle gauge fits for my husband for these hats, so that's okay. And I'm pretty sure that this 2.75 millimeter will fit me. Because like I said, the one that I made for my husband, it was just a little tight, not like immensely tight or anything. So the difference in that needle size should be okay. So yeah, I am loving those colors. They are so like baby soft looking. That's just, I don't know, it's just so pretty. All right, so that is my Musselburgh hat. If you do not know what a Musselburgh hat is, it is a pattern by Ysolda Teague, and it's basically you start at a crown and then you work your increases, do a long tube, and then work your decreases, and then you put one end up into the other and you have a hat. It's like a double a double layered hat or whatever. So yeah, I really like them, but they do tend to take me quite a long time to knit. Oh. So I have another story to go with this blanket that I have started. So okay, my row 1 mini subscription, you if you remember, I had started a jelly roll blanket with it, and I really wasn't getting much progress done on it because I just was not enjoying it. I mean, it wasn't a project that I was just like, oh, I want to work on it. So I ripped it out, and Nitty Natty, and with Natalie of Nitty Natty, Love and Stitches, you know, all that. She started a Battenberg blanket with one of her advents from, I think it was last year, and her minis were 20 gram minis. Well, I knew that my row 1 minis were 10 gram minis, and I was really liking the way that her squares were turning out and everything. Or, you know, because what a Battenberg blanket is you knit, or no, you don't knit. You crochet a bunch of squares, and then you use like a neutral color to crochet a bunch of other squares and put them all together as you go. So with my row 1 minis being 10 gram minis, Nitty Natty was able to get 6 squares out of a 20 gram mini. So out of my row 1 minis being 10 gram minis, I was able to get 3 out of them. So there's 10 minis that come in 1 month subscription. So that's 30 squares that I can get out of 1 month. So I did some math and everything, and I decided that I wanted to do 150 squares. I think that's right. Let me look at my project notes. Give me 1 second. Oh goodness, it had signed me out. Now I don't remember my password. Okay, so anyway, I believe it was 150 squares. So of each. So I need 150 colorful squares out of all of my row 1 minis, and then 150 in a neutral color. So I didn't want to do just like a natural undyed color with all of these. I want to show y'all these. So I have done, let me see, that one and that one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've done all of 1 month, and I've started on a second month's. Okay, so here's this color. They are so pretty. This was from the very first month subscription of my row 1 minis that I got. And some of these are gonna look smaller right now because some of them are gonna have to be probably blocked because they were the ones that I had ripped out. This was one of the ones that I had ripped out from that jelly roll blanket. So it was Roman yarn. This is another one that I had to rip out. And I'm keeping them all attached with just a little stitch marker like this so that I can keep all of the same colors together. That way once I finish all of my squares, I can like lay them out in the order that I want them to be. Here's this color. This was a really pretty color to me. And then this one. And then the last one for the first month. That one. Okay, and I have done 3 colors for the second month. This was the first one. And my intentions were to crochet my 3 squares and weave in the ends before I start the next ones. How long do y'all think that lasted for these? Okay, so here is my second color. And I did not weave in the ends. And here is the third color. And I did not weave in the ends yet. So what I've decided that I'm going to do is I'm going to, here's the rest for the second month subscription. So what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm just going to crochet up all of the squares for 1 month and then sit down and weave in all the ends before I start the next month's subscription. Let's see how good I can stick to that. I did do that for these. So we'll see. Now, for my neutral color that I'm going to use for these squares for this blanket. Oh, and I'm using, my bad, hold on. One other thing. I'm using a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. It is, I don't know what letter size it is, but I do have a little bit left. I think it's like 2 grams, a gram and a half, 2 grams left out of each mini. So when I finish, I'm just putting it into a magic knot ball. I have no idea what I'm going to do with that once I'm finished, but it'll be there for something. Scrappy socks or something, maybe. I don't know. But for my neutral color, I decided I did not want a white. I did not want to use a natural undyed color. But I wanted a neutral color that would look good with all of the colors that are in the row 1 minis, because there's so much variety. So I got to talking to Whitney over at Moonglow Yarn Co. And I was talking to her, and I had told her, I was like, I want a gray, like a light gray. So she sent me some pictures of a couple of her grays, and I decided on the colorway Silver Lining. And there's This is her tag. And I told her, I was like, I think I'm only going to need 2 skeins. So, luckily, she was already going to be dyeing some yarn. So, she was like, I'll fit you in when, you know, with my dye. And I was like, thank you so much. You're a lifesaver. And so, she dyed me up these 2 skeins. And I am loving this color. I think it is going to look so good with my row 1 minis in my blanket once I get them all joined together. I'm so excited. So I do only have 3 months worth of subscription for my row 1 minis so far. I'm actually currently waiting on the 4th month to come in. And for me to be able to have 150 squares, it'll take 5 months worth. So, but I've got some time to be able to wait on that 5th month's subscription, because I've still got the rest of the 2nd month's, all of the 3rd, the 4th hasn't got here yet. So yeah, I got some time. So, but yes, I am so grateful to Whitney. Thank you so much for doing that for me, Whitney. You are a lifesaver and a sweetheart, and I will never forget that you did that for me. So be sure, and she does, if you have never seen any of her yarn or anything, make sure to go to moonglowyarnco.com and check out her stuff, because she does some awesome sets, like sock sets, blanket sets, cowl sets. I mean, she comes out with these like kits, or I guess is what you call them. They're just so gorgeous. She is really awesome at dyeing solid color yarns, and I'm not that great at it. I do better with like speckleds and variegateds. So so yeah, that came into part of my acquisitions. However, we are moving into acquisitions now. So everybody, I'm sure, is aware about the new Barbie movie that has came out, and all of the Barbie yarn that is coming out. So I've seen several different dyers have the Barbie yarn that they've dyed up, but I'm gonna be honest, only one person's really like just stuck out to me the most, and that was Brianna's from Little Wolf Knits. And so I ordered 3 skeins of the Barbie World colorway from her, and it is so pretty. She does such a wonderful job at dyeing her colors. I just love it. I cannot wait to make something out of this. I just do not know yet what I'm going to make. I thought about maybe trying to make her pattern for her seashore dress out of this, but I would have to add some colors to it because it's designed to be like a fade. So yeah, I don't know. But this is the tag. It's done on her sunfish base. So yeah. And this is what the back looks like. The Little Wolf Knits. I like her tag. It's cool looking. So yeah. That is my yarn that I got from her. And the only other acquisition that I have is some needles that Polka Dot Creek had on clearance. And so I ordered some. It was some sizes that I normally use like the most, and they are like interchangeable kind of. It's not a set though, but it's the Knitter's Pride Zing brand, and normally I only use Xiaogu, but I wanted to try these just to see if I like them or not. So like I said, I ordered a few sizes that I normally use a lot, and then I ordered 2 swivel cords and a 20-inch and a 24-inch to go with them. So yeah, and if I'm gonna try them with those cords, and if I decide that I actually like them, I'll order some more cords. I don't really think I'll need any other size needles. I don't know, maybe. We'll see. But if I like the needles, then I will keep them. If I don't, I'll probably do a giveaway with them or put them in my Etsy shop or something. I don't know. So that pretty much covers everything that I was going to show today. That's all of my acquisition, all of my projects that I've been working on. I know this has kind of gotten into a lengthy video. I didn't actually expect it to go this long. However, I do have, if you were only here for the knitting, then the knitting is, or the knitting and the crochet or whatever, that part is over with. I'm just going to do a little bit of talking now. So if that was the only part you were here for, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. If you want to continue listening to me ramble on, I'm gonna have an announcement, or a couple of announcements, and then I'm gonna talk about a book that I've started reading again. So my largest announcement is I finally got a new job. So if you have been watching, you've probably kind of got the gist that I've been looking for a new job. I have not worked in nearly a year, other than like helping my dad out with his construction company and stuff. My last job closed down, and so I have been really struggling with depression and anxiety a lot more, because I wanted a job, I needed a job, financial issues and all of that, and it just seemed like nothing was working, nothing was happening. Every time I would go to an interview, they would give the job to somebody else, you know, just stuff like that. So apparently I had applied for a job at this company off of Indeed like 3 months ago. Well, they called me last week, and it actually happens to be that the HR lady that is working for this company was the same HR lady that worked at my last job, and she recommended me for this job. So I got really lucky, and there's a lot of people that I used to work with that work here at this company now. So I have been there for 3 days now, and I already feel at home. I have been so very welcomed in. I have great bosses. I actually have 2 bosses, because I kind of have 2 different job titles, but both of them are awesome. And one of them actually even let me bring my work home for the weekend instead of making me have to come in and work on Saturday. That was awesome, because with it being like me just starting, he was like, I know you don't want to work right now for the weekend. He was like, you can just take your work home and do it at your own leisure, you know. So I was able to do that. It actually only took me like an hour and a half to do what I had to do. So it really wouldn't have been worth me going in all the way to work for that anyway. But I'm loving it so far, and everything. So I'm really excited. I'm thankful that I finally got a job. So I'm hoping that things are going to start looking a little better around here financially, and hopefully my moods will be better also. Of course, I will probably be tired because I'm working 10 hours a day, 5 days a week at least. However, you know, so I mean, yeah, that it does cut in a lot on a lot of my crafting time, but at the same time, it is helping my stress levels, because, you know, I'm supposed to be trying to really work on like keeping my stress level down because of my medical issues and stuff, and that was really hard when I was constantly stressing over bills and things like that. So now hopefully some of that will go away. I know the bills ain't going away, but at least maybe some of the stress will. So anyway, that was my big announcement. I just want to also do a couple of reminders, really. I will be posting my Advents for sale on my Etsy shop at the end of August. It'll be the last week of August, and they will be movie themed, and the movies will be popular movies between the 70s and the 90s. So that is the theme for the Advent, and there will be 24 mini Advents with an option for a full skein also, so that you know, have 24 minis to open every day leading up to Christmas, and then a full skein to open on Christmas Day, or however you want to open them. And then they will ship out the first week of November. So once again, those will be posted on my Etsy shop for pre-order the last week of August. And I still have on my Etsy shop, there we go again, some of my yarn that I'm destashing. There are destash bundles, there are individual stuff. The bundles, most of the bundles, y'all, are the retail value of this yarn is around $200 to $300. These bundles are huge. And they are like majorly discounted. So be sure to check those out if you are interested. And yeah, they will be on there for a little longer. However, it is taking up a lot of space in my yarn room still. So I'm gonna probably leave them on there for a few more weeks, and then whatever's left I'm just gonna take to somewhere and donate it, because I got to get it out of here. I need more room. So in my last podcast, I believe it was, I had talked about that I was trying to, you know, kind of get my projects and everything situated so that I could get back into reading, something that I haven't done in a very, very long time. So I did finally get to a place where I figured out where I could fit my reading in. I haven't gotten my projects done, but I did decide what I could do about being able to fit my reading back in. So what I've done is, I used to love to take me a tub bath and just soak and read while I was in the tub. So, and this week, actually, while my husband has been out of town working, I was like, you know what, I need to relax. So I got in the tub and I just soaked and I read some of a book. It is a book that I have read before. It's part of a series, and it is the Marked series by PC Cast and Kristin Cast. Like I said, I've read the series before, but they've added to the series with like, the new part, I haven't read the new ones yet. The new ones is like, it's kind of an extension of the old series. I don't really know because I haven't read them yet, so I don't know if it just like picks up where those left off or how it really goes. But, and before I read them, I wanted to reread the old series first because it's been so long since I've read these books, I don't really remember everything. So I've started rereading this series. I'm still on the first book, which is named Marked. I've gotten not quite halfway through it yet, but I read quite a bit in the tub that night, and then I've been trying to just kind of read a little bit at night before I go to sleep so that I can, you know, just kind of wind my mind down some and, you know, be able to relax to go to sleep at night, because I'm having to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning now, y'all. That has been taking some getting used to after almost a year not working and being able to pretty much get up whenever I wanted to. Wow, that has been a struggle, but I'll get used to it. So that's the gist of this podcast. That is all I had to talk about today. I hope that you are actually still here with me and you have not been too bored or telling me to shut up or anything like that. So thank you for coming on and watching, and I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.